Today we are going to explore another way you can revise your narrative writing to make it more vivid. Tim and Moby are going to explain to you how your writing should show your reader what is going on within your story, not just simply stating what is going on. Pay close attention to how Tim and Moby use the five senses to show and not tell.
Try looking behind the shoe rack. Oh, never mind, I'll show you. Why do you need this raincoat anyway? You're not thinking of going outside in this weather. Well, you're on your own. There's no way I'm going out there. Dear Tim and Moby, in writing, you're supposed to show, not tell. What does that mean? From Foggy. I don't know how you talked me into this. Anyway, show, not tell. Writing's a powerful thing. When you write, you can tell your readers about a situation, helping them understand something that maybe they've never seen before. Well, the concept of showing and not telling takes it a step further. Really good writing goes beyond simply explaining something, making you feel like you saw it for yourself, that you smelled it, touched it, like you yourself were there. When you show your readers what you're talking about instead of just telling them, you give them a sense of place, and feeling, and experience. I get excited about this stuff, so what? Anyway, it's true. If you wanted to describe what it's like to be outside right now, what would you say? Okay, Tim and I were outside. The weather was bad. It was cold and windy. That's accurate. The thing is, you're just telling people what you see and feel instead of showing them. Well, if I were writing a story about this, I would say, we were greeted by a blast of icy wind as Moby dragged me out the front door. My thin raincoat offered little protection from the hard sheets of rain that fell from the dark, turbulent sky. I shivered in the clammy air, longing for the dry warmth of my living room. Well, that's sort of the point, to make it feel like you're actually there. I tried to make it really active by bringing in as many sensory experiences and feelings as I could. Plus, you are actually there. Saying that we were greeted by a blast of icy wind gives the reader a lot more information than just saying it was windy. The hard sheets of rain gives you an idea of how much rain is actually falling, and with how much force. Everyone knows that you only shiver when it's really cold, and that last bit about wanting to be inside gives you a good sense of my state of mind. Yes. Yes, I'm amazing. Can we go inside now? Sure, you can have another try. Why don't you describe the experience of sitting on the couch drying off with a towel? Finally. Hey, Moby!
Let's look at another example. Remember, when you show a reader what is happening in a narrative, you are creating a small moment where the reader feels like he or she is actually there and a part of the story. So let's look at another telling sentence. Laura was swimming in the ocean and saw a shark. I need to think of a way to create a vivid image of what is happening by using as many of the five senses as I can to describe what is going on. Let's take a look at our transformed sentence. The sun was shining bright upon all those who gathered on the beach that day. Laura decided to cool off and swim a few laps in the ocean. The smell of salt water wafted in the air as she walked closer to the sea. At first touch, the cold water sent a chill up her spine. She slowly waded into the water and let out a sigh as she admired the small ripples in the calm ocean near the shoreline. As Laura swam further out into the ocean, she heard a high-pitched shrill coming from the beachgoers still on land. She turned and saw to the left of her a small silver peak peeking out of the water.
Let's make note of the multiple senses that were used to create our small moment. We see elements of smell, touch, hearing, and seeing within the writing. Using these senses enhance the experience of reading the narrative, because now the reader feels as if they are a part of the scene. Each of these sensory details has been identified by a different color for each sense in the paragraph. You should write these examples down in your notes. Tomorrow, you and your peers will work to identify places where your narrative can benefit from a small moment.